Very good presentation and good experience, and this is kind of the next step of the preparation of specialists in the area of financial literacy. And what's important that this example, where this is a government task, very important, so top priority task that has been illustrated. So why it's the financial literacy is so important for the state, and so then jointly with financial institutions and the institutions of civil society, so we join forces and spread this knowledge, and trying just not to spend much money, and so they attain good results of serious long-term implications. Thank you, Barbara. So I'd like to give the floor to Dulyara Ibragimova. So she will give us the benefit of her knowledge concerning the Russian application. So then science, sociology, and so she's been studying this problem. So field studies, and so she will speak about this concept in Russia. Thank you. I will speak because I'm running out of time, and so some results of the base study of the level of financial literacy that was done within the framework of the national program of financial literacy at the request of the Ministry of Finance. It was done by the consortium of companies. And so we did. We did it together, and the representative of PSS company in Russia, Demoscope, and others. So then this poll was done in October 2012. So the methodology we used was as follows. So there were several polls. So there was all the Russian poll. So we did some sampling. From different, so then the targeted sampling. So then we visited the household 3 times that we have selected. So we kind of iterated the visits, and then 6,000 people altogether. Then there were regional polls. So there were 2 pilot and 2 control regions, so Volgograd, Kaliningrad, Orenburg, Yaroslavl, so 1,500 people in each. I'm talking about adult polls. And then the sampling was not only representative for the whole of Russia and the regions, but so the different age groups were included in the statement of work. So low, middle, and high-income people. So then, a separate study was done for the adolescents, so students and school children. So then students 424, so school children 294, and also the sampling of students and pupils was more than 700 altogether. So the whole sample body, and in some regions so about 600. So give or take a few people. So then that was very representative of the entire region. So then, so the end points, the outcomes. So the indicators of the project included the following points. So then, so to understand the efficiency of the program of raising financial literacy. So we co-financed it, and then the questionnaires that we collected. So first is to understand the basics of pension system. So at what age you start accumulating money on your pension account, and so then to understand the risk-reward. So when you select financial products, how you see this ratio. Then to understand so the financial. So buffer, so the security, the safety cushion for extraordinary and crisis situations, and then how to settle debates with financial organizations, how to settle problems, and but only for adults. So this course was made because we were asking students and pupils about this issue, and so we had to modify the questions because they didn't have enough knowledge to properly relate to what was asked of them. And so then comparing of alternative offers, so understanding so that there should be always an alternative and knowledge to compare different financial products and select the best. So then the basis of understanding, so then simple compound interest, inflation component needs to be understand who's responsible for the losses in the financial markets. So to understand the personal liability, personal responsibility, so then very important to understand that they need to save money for their old age themselves without relying on the state for that, etc. So then how to repay the loans? So do we need to repay the loan if you are in the trades, etc. That's for the adults only. And then, so then, if you identify fraud, then you need to take action of administrative or legal nature rather than so let it drift. So all these things. So then I'll give you some figures so for students and pupils. So first, so pension basics. So here, so they share respondents who selected so answer 1 or 2. So at what age? So then people should start saving for their pension. So after 30 or once they start working, and so then after 30 or starting from 40, 45 years of age. So this is a distribution, the different control groups, cohorts in Russia in general and regions. So 2/3 in Russia answer correctly, and so Kaliningrad Oblast is the best. So for many, it's very advanced among the youth and among the adults. So they are ahead of everybody. And so then there was a question to another. So I will talk about the pension strategies. It's true that 70% of the people, respondents, are saying that pension will not be sufficient when they retire. And so what are going to live on? And so you can see then, because we've been watching these dynamics of the change of the pension strategy is the labor. So you need just to stick to a certain job, and so which will provide me certain pension as long as you can. So this 47% of the people answered like that. So find a good job, stick to the pension. About 12%, 15% they hope that their kids will help, and the savings and payments from the non-state pension funds. As 15% they hope for that. So that's in 2013. Not much, but so then this since 2005, so it used to be 5%, now it's 10% hope for that. So what are the reasons? Because in the short-term planning horizon and level of uncertainty is high. They don't know what's going to happen in 20 years. Then the next is understand the profitability versus risk, yield versus risk. And because the higher the yield, the higher is the risk. And so what's the relationship? And so when we put this question to, it's about 70% answer correctly. And so along many parameters, one can observe that Kaliningrad Oblast is the best and Volgograd is the worst. Oblast is the worst. So then two extremes. So they differ somewhat. Then the next is to have a safety cushion. And so if a person says, so a young guy, for example, says that he's saving even if there is no goal to spend what he can spend it on, then that's a financially educated, informed answer. That's good. And only 33% of students they gave wrong answers. So only 33% answered that they put away money even if there is no objective where to spend it, and 25% save some money even if there is no they don't have any plans to what to spend it on. And then the proper understanding of simple and compound interests. So the next two questions were related to the interest rates and inflation rate. So whether they understand that. So the indicator was, so then the share of respondents that gave correct answers to all four questions. So if you, so then all four questions are right, everything is fine. And so then the situation, if less than that, then the situation is not so good. So the questions are pretty straightforward, but still, in Russia, only 30% answer correctly among the students. and among the adults, the picture is no better. And that's not good. Then another, so who is going to be held liable for losses? If you invest, so if you lose money in the financial markets, who's going to pay back? So if you lose money playing on the financial markets, so the first and the last question was correct. So if you invest in the bank and it goes bankrupt. And the last question, if money is invested in housing construction, for example, so then if you insure or not insure your, so there's paternalism versus individualism, and by and large, so it's not the answer. Only 38% in Russia students answered correctly, and. So many say that the state should reimburse, even if the shares drop. They say that the state should step in. So then if you invest in housing construction and as you invest your unit contribution, so then they think that the state should take in the responsibility. And some different regions, they perform differently. So then to save money for old age, if a person agrees with the statement that they need just to start saving for the old age, so that to be able just to live full life when he retires, so that's a financially literate answer, but only a few people answered that question correctly.
Young people think that they will never get old. Very few people, as you can see here, just 30% of the respondents understand that it's important to save up for retirement. This shows a pretty good match to the responses of the older people. Only at around 50, people start realizing that it makes sense to save up some money. If we are to put together a awareness program or a training program, we have to think why people would attend classes and want to participate. We have to give them incentives. 46% of the people think that what they know is sufficient. 52% of the people think that the existing knowledge base won't be sufficient, and 2% don't know. Most of them believe that their knowledge is insufficient, and most people want to learn more. 71% would like to know more about their personal finance. That is a higher percentage than amongst the adults. Only 1/3 of the adults want to learn about money. As of students, 2.5 times more of them want to learn. So that's where there's a potential for financial literacy programs. Most people approve of the new courses or classes for financial literacy. Most students say that it's a good thing, although they would prefer to take additional not compulsory classes for financial literacy. When we ask them if there should be an additional class for financial literacy, or it should be made a part of one of the existing courses, the opinions split. Students were not decided how they want to do it. Some of them said that they want to have a separate course, and others would say that it can be made part of the existing courses which they have. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you. Just a small share of the results which we were able to obtain. We have done a lot of comparisons. We used the World Bank methodology to measure financial competences in various fields. So we ran comparisons against respondents in different parts of the world. So we can provide that information if you're interested upon request. Thank you. Very